Hey guys, what I'm gonna talk in this video is nothing but a call to remember of coming back to pay attention on what, for me, matters the most in life, and can actually change your life more than any material thing can ever do. This is timeless and will always hunt you and remember you of its own existence from time to time through your whole life path. This morning, before I even opened my eyes, I was thinking about growing up and thinking about everything that I did that called me to grow up. When you are a kid, you don't think ever that you will be a grown one day. You just care about playing, spending time with friends, and in fact, you enjoy life. And while the years pass, you notice that you're getting taller, stronger, you feel powerful for a while, you got some hair in your body, and all the idea of becoming a grown up, it's now starting for you. You get excited because when you go out, you see many adults around living a life, being able to do a lot of things that you judge as fun, and you can't do them. But you know, soon you will be there. And you even want this time in your life now to pass quicker so then you can finally live this greatness of the future. But growing up for you at this time is nothing but getting taller, stronger, and prettier, and everything around will align in a great and smooth way for you, even though you don't even know what that means. Because nothing matters more than being alive. And that is exactly what we lost, the matter of being alive. Growing up always comes with an idea of becoming so serious that you can't see yourself mature if not willing to shut down most of the things that used to call you genuine pleasure. And I'm talking about real things that cause us pleasure. Such small things that comes more from inside of ourselves. Having the external experience as nothing but a consequence of what it's in our perception, instead of letting these external things mess up too much with us. And because of this scripted seriousness, most of us believe that this is the only way to grow up. And once you are inside this blind downfall, the normality of life and its events start showing up for you as it does for everybody. Some worries, some bills, some heavy critics, the dealing with decisions that now have heavier consequences as it used to, and we find ourselves completely lost and distracted from the inner voice that used to talk with us before we made this growth, but now it screams. And after years in this loop of pain and uncertainty towards our own existence, we notice that the fear took a great part of our personality and now even manages our actions, making our lives a bit more miserable day by day. And that is exactly where we lose more of ourselves. To take actions without fear, or even having this fear but taking these actions anyway, is to have a bit of love towards the player of your character in this game of life. And to prove to yourself that you have it, you need to experience everything that can cause you to grow. And by that I mean that you need to be able and open to fail, to try, to get burned in the middle of a conversation. You need to be able to say, I don't know, to ask for help when necessary, and to break your pride whenever things can get really hard for you. And all this have in common one thing, the connection with people. Life happens when you show up. For many years, we have been manipulated with the idea that staying inside, closed in the room, it's a normal thing. But that's the same idea that keeps you small, miserable, and always away from living your life. An idea created by those who enjoy and need to see you exactly like that. Easy to dominate the mind. Nobody came to this world to live this life completely alone, with no connections with other beings of its own species. And I'm not talking about the concept of we are always alone inside ourselves, because that has nothing to do with what I'm saying now. If life were supposed to be passed between four walls and a bright screen after your eyes most of the times, you would have born in a prison. But you were not born in a prison. But perhaps you were taught throughout the time how to build your own prison to live in. A war that makes many loses their life without getting killed. To grow up is to not be afraid of showing up, fail, and learn, such as it is not being afraid of sharing experience, seeing others failing and learn from them. The possibilities of connections we have every day are infinite, but most people feel afraid because they don't really feel connected with the world they live in. and that is because they are not connected with themselves. There is not really a thing that can make them spiritually and mentally grounded here, and that makes them sleepwalk on this earth. The lack of personality was never so normalized and encouraged as it is now. Most people don't feel bothered by talking to someone that just speaks like a frightened kid or a social media based on. You feel like not talking to people, but to the television, to social medias itself, I don't know, to anything but not someone. And that sounds tiring, no? That doesn't mean at all that there are no people out there with self and external awareness. They can be just a bit harder to find. But once you start noticing these patterns and paying attention on all these things that I'm talking here and noticing it and being aware of this, you can find a bit easier to find these people because you're gonna be no longer in the places that they are not, wasting your time, wasting on energy on people that no longer has nothing to do with you. But for that to happen, you gotta be aware, friend. Notice your surroundings, and more important, think after your thought. Criticize it with a bit of pity and mercy instead of judging it. If there is something you should only be tired of, it's your own incapability to change. You don't grow up by external amounts acquired that can make your history smoother and easier. Without a good internal amount of sensibility, you will always just be a spoiled hurt kid. Care about your career, no matter how many you have, about your money, and about everything that makes your history smoother. They are all important. But also, care for what makes you alive and not just existing. Don't let the rush takes over you. The rushing idea of having to be someone when actually you have always been. The only way to grow is by thinking. So after all, to grow is to be alive. And being alive doesn't mean only existing, breathing on your chair, but having all the abilities mentioned here: courage, faith, sensibility, humility, patience, and the most important, awareness. In the life after your eyes, you got all the possibilities at once to explore. And all you gotta do is to put one step in front of you. So don't let the world makes you think the opposite, because that's exactly what the largest part of humanity is doing right now. And if you are in this video so far, I don't think that's how you wanna be. In a life of a person that it's awakened, always leads to the growth. But you gotta be clever to take the best out of it. And finally, from it, make your history smoother and easier. Easier for yourself, easier for your own experiencing and living here. Well, I guess that was it. If the things I said here made sense for you, I really hope you can take them and use them to make your life even more meaningful now and always, day by day. Please subscribe to the channel and share in the comments.